Hey up guys, what's going on and welcome back to the Bradford Safeway. If you've not watched yesterday's episode detailing all of the transfers we made, and there's a heck of a lot of them, go watch that right now because it's a completely separate episode. It's not on part of this. Today is just these first two matches against Newcastle and Tottenham. And in terms of the schedule in total, it's not been kind. Through to October the 2nd here, essentially the first 9 Premier League games, we play 5 of the natural top 6. Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Chelsea and Tottenham, all in those first 9 games. Everton away is in there as well. So if we're not bottom by the time we get to this home Wolves game, I'll be very surprised. Let's be honest. Realistically, we're looking to get points out of Newcastle, Bournemouth and Watford. Carabao Cup goes in here. That being said though, there is this. Pre-season went ridiculously well. Now, bear in mind, of course, these games here are all played against lesser opposition. We did score 26 goals in those games against lower opposition without conceding a single one. We only conceded 1 goal all pre-season, and there were 3 Premier League teams within that. Arsenal and Tottenham, 2 of those. So, quietly confident. That was actually televised for some reason, the pre-season friendly against Tottenham, and we do play them away from home in the second game today. It's also not as if they didn't play a very good side either. Now, I'm not entirely saying what the goalie situation is for them. Just realised that was showing me the same one twice. But it's not like we played a weak side against them. Now, Kane and Trippier did get injured in that match. And we play them in the second game of the season. So, sounds mean, but fingers crossed they still are by then. But yeah, their team, they didn't put out a bad team. And we still managed to beat them 2-0. Now, bear in mind, all the friendlies are done with by my assistant manager. I don't have any input on those. Fingers crossed we can do that again. Midley away from home. But Newcastle first. A game realistically we could possibly win. Newcastle's still not amazing in this. They've not developed in any way, shape or form. They've not had any takeovers and had money pumped into them or anything like that. But they have survived 3 years in a row. Thereabouts. They've sort of been in a similar situation for the past 3 years they are in real life. Sort of a little bit tense, and then just about making themselves reasonably safe with about 5 games to go. So, very similar kind of situation where it's kind of mild panic for about 3/4 of the season, and then it's like, actually, no, we're all right, probably. Now, it is worth mentioning we have played Newcastle 3 times in pre-season friendlies in the past, and we've lost all 3 times. However, I showed you the formation last time around that is our first 11, and that's the formation that we're going with today. Lopez is our best option on the left wing. Remarkably, Osborne, Pereira, Garcia, Lam, Raya in goal. Ferreira, Reed and Martin in the middle. At some point in this, I might change into attacking playmaker. Tex, Lopez and Ruiz up front for now. Now, Guys Hendricks is fit. He's not 100% fit, but he is fit for this. But I'm not going to introduce him immediately in the first 11. Just yet, even though he is technically possibly slightly better. I think I like Ruiz slightly more at home. I think away from home we might rely a little bit more on crossing and heading goals, things like that. Just lumping it up and getting it to him. So I think he works probably a little bit more away from home, whereas at home we can probably play a little bit more flowing football, perhaps. I also have no number available for Hendricks, really. I probably should have waited a while and given him, say, number 11, but he gets 42 because that's the answer to everything. Well, life, the universe, and everything, of course. And my lucky number. So, for that reason. And if we're completely honest here, in terms of Premier League sides, I'm not overwhelmed by Newcastle's team right now. Now, there's a few players here that I'm not really aware of, but Marcano, not really know him. Marla, not twice. I've seen him before on another team. He must have been on loan. Pavaletti, Defrel, don't recognise either of those. Richie Shelvey, of course, Dubravka, already there at Newcastle. In terms of the bench, Federico Fernandez is still around, and Carl Darlow is still around. They've not upgraded their goalkeeper at any point, which is interesting, and probably why they've not strengthened as a club. They appear to have George McCachran, though. I'm not sure if he's on loan or not, or if they bought him. He's on loan. He was an option I was thinking about maybe bringing in, but considering the amount of depth we brought into midfield already, I just thought, nah. And with Martin, of course, coming in as well. But 4-4-2 from them. Go out there and impress me right now. It's first game of the season. I have faith in all of you. You can do this. weirdly enough, if you remember the end of last season, in the last episode of last season, I said, let's try and survive, and a lot of them went, that's too unrealistic. I said the same when they came back, and they were all on board. So they appear to have realised that, maybe we should aim to survive over the holiday break. And perhaps the unbeaten off-season is part of that. Now, this is a highlight that's gone on for 2 minutes already, perhaps. Just had a brief panic that adding the new skin had undone the key highlight situation. But this highlight does continue with Lopez running forward and getting that to Ruiz, who 1-0. Okay, not a bad start to Premier League life. And first shot of the game, of course, 2 minutes in. And we move up to 4th with that right now. I actually kind of like this because it keeps this available to me right now, even though there's a highlight situation. And that is a thumping finish. Our fans go wild behind the goal. 4 minutes, another highlight. Now that's going to go all the way through to Defrel, I think. Yes, it is. He managed to collect that, and Rare saves. Almost instant reply from Newcastle. I'd expect nothing less. They can be a tenacious side if they decide to play. And admittedly, they no longer have Benitez. He went to Arsenal in this save. I think he's moved on since then again. But I think it's Steve Clarke in charge of them right now, which isn't necessarily an inspired choice. Richie on a free kick here. That's a well-worked Shelby opportunity right there. That's something off the training ground, I suspect. But, of course, we're playing on Sunday, by the way. A lot of teams have already played their matches. There's only 3 left. Lopez has a free kick over here. I may have forgotten about Hendricks on free kick duty, but he's not on the pitch just yet anyway, so I can amend that. Newcastle actually do have the better of this game, apparently. But we go into half-time 1-0 in the lead. We've had 1 shot on goal, and it's gone in. Right, assertively, don't get complacent. It's worked. Let's get on with it. And we kick off this second half. Osborne on the left, not looking amazingly fit already at this stage. Although it is 84, so that was slightly... I think that was showing me slightly less than it probably was. Richie on the ball. Pereira cuts that out. Pereira Ferreira is going to be a little bit annoying. Considering we also have Texera and Oliveira in our ranks as well. But Garcia... I might just call him Ferreira Pedro instead. But Garcia out to Lamb on the right. Reed. Still with Reed. Back to Lamb. Back to Reed. Not gone back to Lamb for once. Ferreira. Martin. Osborne on the left. Opportunity to give that to Lopez and run around him. No. Back to Osborne. Excellent through ball to Ruiz. And almost a identical opportunity to the goal in the first half. Now, I'm not entirely certain if I'm going to keep the Bradford City formation on the left-hand side here because it does seem somewhat redundant. And I might put latest scores down here. Because I know what my own formation is, and I can see what the player ratings are in the top half. But that's out to Reed, who has been booked, so just keep an eye on that. 2/3 of the game gone. Oh, that's hit the bar and went weirdly close to me in this 2D formation. Lopez on the ball to Ferreira. Reed. In the middle, Ferreira passing around that middle, doing what we do best, keeping possession, passing it around. Osborne back with Lopez, who can run a bit here. A little bit of opportunity to close down a bit, but enough space for Osborne on this left-hand side to whip one in unchallenged. Marlowe will get on that, but that's only gone as far as Lopez, who can... Well, I highlighted his lack of finishing ability before, and, well, who cares about stats, eh? 8 or 9 finishing, I believe he has, which, not amazing, but certainly enough for him to pull this out of the bag. Oh. And the Newcastle fans behind that goal in abject despair. But this game has basically run out right now and everything's moved, so I just have to pay attention to that. Okay, so tactics-wise now, it might be wise to keep Reed, get Reed off the pitch, keep that safe. Ferreira, of course, a player who is very excellent, but a little bit tired. Now, this year's captain is Ferreira because he's a player that's going to be playing every single game, probably. Pereira's the backup. He has weirdly good stats. He's sort of the best option that's going to play week in, week out. Yeah, so we just bring Dominguez on for Reed, save that booking. Just going to swap him over for now as well. Ruiz has scored, so I don't really feel the need to take him off. Tex hasn't had the best of games, 6.6. But there's still 18 minutes to go, and anything can happen in 18 minutes, so although nothing's happened at all, since I said that. So we'll just make one change with 5 minutes to go. Yeah, we'll just make that Tormin for text change, and maybe just start wasting time. 5 minutes to go is 2-0. We don't want to have any massive capitulations at the end of this match. But 92 minutes, 3 minutes added time. Likely going to be the end of game highlight, but anything might happen with these 30 seconds. Could be a goal for us, could be a goal for them. But at the very least, I would hope it would be just a consolation. We are somewhat outnumbered right now in the box, but Osborne gets his head on that and Lopez will run away with the ball, and time's likely going to be called unless we get close enough to their box for the referee to go, all right, nah. Blocked and end of game. 2-0. Oh, this is a lot more information on the post-game screen. I've not seen this yet. Bless him. Bless him for saying the two sides are very similar. But one game in, we're in fourth. Champions League football, here we come. Well, actually, no, we had a very good second half of that. We came right back into that. You can see there from the average rating, actually. 7.2 for us, 6.64 from them. Yeah, they didn't really turn up for the first game. But I'll take that. 2-0. Everyone pretty much made a competitive debut. Raya, Pereira, Osborne, Reed, Martin. Passionate. Very happy with the result and the way you played. Yes, yes, indeed I am. But yeah, 3 days. Not sure what's happened there in terms of the scheduling. I'm not sure that happens normally in the opening of the Premier League. Although there's immediately a game in midweek, but there is, so I'll bring it back for the Tottenham game. Okay, so we find ourselves midweek away at Tottenham. Cardiff have just beaten Arsenal in their match yesterday, so feeling slightly more up for it now. Just a few tweaks and changes. I've put Hendricks on just to really see how he goes. In a poacher role, we're playing more cautious, so I'm thinking having just someone up there to poach, to get the ball to, head that in, that'll be great. He's got his own personalised upfront instruction list, basically, so Hendricks is going to lead the line for this one. The only other tweaks are bench-wise. Much and Luis Oliveira are on the bench instead of Dominguez and Roster, because Much is back to full fitness. And I think Luis Oliveira just edges out Roster in terms of quality and potential to grow. And there's no restrictions, of course, in terms of seemingly for homegrown players in the Premier League for some reason. If there is, it's not telling me them. But yes, our lineup is basically unchanged. Raya, Osborne, Pereira, Garcia, Lam, Ferreira, Reed, and Martin in the middle. Lopez, Tex on the wings, and Hendricks. Now, I'm hoping a little bit more from Tex this game. If we're honest, 6.6 not really good enough for Tex. Ben Osborne with a 7.9 last time round. Good start for him, a left back. So a position we've kind of notoriously had a little bit of issue with. Gibson didn't start very well there last season, but got there in the end. The second half of the season from him was actually a lot better than the first half. And all the players to gain confidence is the goalie. That makes perfect sense, as I just give everyone a bit of passionate faith, and that'll work nicely. What's even better now is Ferreira being team leader inspires others. Kane is actually still injured by the looks of things, but they're playing him nonetheless. But, of course, both teams in their home kit... I've just realised the flaw in this. Oh, they've scored after 2 minutes. I've just realised the flaw in the formation thing. But we'll watch this free kick one more time. And yeah, that's a good free kick. And Raya hasn't done himself the world of good standing where he did. Because we're on this side now, he's showing us the formation for them this side. So what might be worth doing is putting match stats here. Mind you, it's not opponent's formation anymore, is it? We'll do it like that for now. 20 minutes gone, still nothing's happened. Staying cautious. We've moved up to 7th, but I think that's due to results elsewhere. Now that whipped around, but it's in the... Oh, never mind, it's 2-0. I thought we were about to get that clear. I'm not sure what happened there. Cuisance, excellent free kick, just almost bends back on itself. Torre nabs that off Martin, I think that is, at number 10. And nobody picks up Counter Vickers at all. Right, we're going to have to go a bit more balanced. We're going to have to get in this a little bit more. Right, there we go. Osborne apparently making a lot of mistakes today, which is a bit unfortunate considering how well he played last time. That was absolutely terrible. Not going to say anything else. Absolutely terrible. I said go a little bit more direct. I'm simply trying to get it to Hendricks, who despite everything is actually the one player who seems to be playing reasonably well right now. But we're just not getting shots at all. Okay, Chad Lamb's been booked. Martin's been booked. I think if we're going to get literally anything out of this, we're going to need to do something here. Now, I don't actually have a replacement for Lamb on the bench, I realise now. He's not looking that tired, though. Ferreira's actually not looking too bad for once either. Okay then. Much for Martin. Reed's playing fairly badly as well. He's not an improvement on that situation. I suppose I could always move Ferreira forward. Problem is ball winning. Ball to ball for Ferreira, much for Mazzala. And that might do for now. And Braze Lopez, I'm slightly worried about. 6.4 from him as well as Ben Osborne. I've got problems all over right now. Just trying to get literally anything out of this game. Hendricks, thankfully a highlight for us. Seemingly at this point, Lamb smacks it at Carter Vickers, who has no one to go to himself, but that will go back to Traore, and this is probably going to be 3-0 annoyingly, because Moore will get onto that. Quite wide for him, but enough space for unmarked at the other side. Defending might be nice. I mean, that was appalling from Lamb. I'm assuming that was on this side here. Just doesn't get anywhere near him. Right, I think I'm going to have to make sure I've got replacements for him on the bench. Yeah, there's nobody on the bench that can replace him, unfortunately. 6.2 for Osborne. We're going to have to make that change because, I mean, 6.3 there as well, still not great. Can we please get something out of this game? We're already over the allotted time right now. This is going to be the end of the game. Carrasco's missed that, and I'm not sure why the ref isn't actually blowing the whistle just yet. We're already a minute over the allotted 3 minutes. Keeps going. Keeps going. Why is this continuing? End this game right now, referee. They're just playing around the midfield. Frankly, if this ends up with a goal for us, I'll be very surprised and annoyed if he blows the whistle there. But Dargray, this continues. Whipped in, nobody's there. Finally, it's all over. A good solid minute and a half over the time. Yeah, admittedly, we weren't expecting to get anything out of this, and that happened. Glad I didn't sign that guy. Jahan Baksh, as it's not as hard as it looks. Yeah, of course, we tried to chase that game a little bit, and it opened us up probably a bit more than we'd hopefully liked. Going down 2 minutes to a free kick didn't really help matters. Position-wise, fairly even. Passes fairly even. Tackles, not like tackles won, amazing. The problem was getting the ball to someone who could put it in the net. We had 3 shots. 3-0, but I'm far from pleased with that because we did everything except to get the ball forward, apparently. But a home game against Bournemouth next, hopefully we can pick up points there. And that will see us a little bit safer. Now, Leeds, yet to win. Yet to get a point, but they've yet to play their next game against Palace, Leicester, or Man City. Not sure which one it is. Watford, 2 losses. Newcastle, 2 losses. Arsenal, 2 losses at this point. As well, every other team who have played 2 games have at least picked up 1 point so far. So in terms of bringing you back, we're looking at probably Man United and Liverpool here. Two big games against the top 6 opposition. Obviously, in this first season, I kind of really ought to be focusing on lower end opposition, the kind of games that we could be winning, should be winning, rather than these ones. But as this was literally the first time we've ever played a top 6 team in this save, outside of friendlies, with Tottenham there, I kind of want to bring you a little bit more top 6 action. So with Man United Liverpool back to back, I kind of like that as a pairing. So we'll probably bring you that. Gives our team a little bit of time maybe to get settled in. Obviously, we've got a lot of new players trying to get acquainted with each other. So hopefully by then we might have a little bit more to show for things. Top 6 teams in between. Chelsea, Man City, of course. And then maybe snatching points against Everton and Watford are things we're kind of got to be hoping for right there. Progressing in the Carabao Cup wouldn't be too bad as well from the second round. Leeds is not that far off after Liverpool, but I think we'll probably move on to maybe Cardiff and Crystal Palace after that as well. And do the Leicester Leeds as a penultimate episode for the season. It's kind of nicely lined up there to be a nice gap for the end of the season. Against 3, actually, in fairness, the end of the season, our run-in is not bad. Because we play pretty much all the top 6 in a batch, it does leave us free with only, really, Arsenal in the last 2.5 months, basically, as a run-in. Now, in terms of games that we can get points off, the run-in's actually quite nice. Man United and Liverpool, next time round, I think. But 3 points on the board already. Absolutely take that. Probably the bare minimum of what we were kind of hoping for right now. Getting 3 points. Getting 2 points out of this would have been nice, Newcastle and Tottenham. But 3 points we'll absolutely take against Newcastle there. Bournemouth again, hopefully 3 points there. If when we return, we're at around 8 or 9 points, I think I'll be happy. If we can get maybe a win or 2 out of this, a win and a few draws out of this, maybe, I'll be happy with that. Bare minimum of 6 points, of course, would be nice. But 8 would be definitely happy. Anything more than 8 I'll be ecstatic with. So Man United, Liverpool next time round, and I'll join you then for 2 top 6 teams. But until then, ta-ra.